Art Inks. Come on down, Art. A man who lives up to his name. Too easy to talk about angst and anxiety and agita and all that, so I'm not going to go that way. But he does live up to his name. As I say, I depend on Art, Dee Dee, and Randy. Randy is the nucleus, Dee Dee is the rock, but Art is the lever. He keeps things moving up and balanced so that we don't fall, and I do really, really appreciate what he does for us. He's a significant contributor to the college in many ways. As he said, he is the research foundation manager. He's also the president of our Auxiliary Service Corps, and his contributions have been very valued throughout the college, and he continues to do things that make us very, very proud at the College at Old Westbury. He does live up to his name, Art Inks, as I said before. He's always available, that's the aim. He's reliable and dependable, and he's talented. He's a talented guy. He takes on all type of assignments, and he seems to come out on the top in most instances. The angst part, well, you look at this guy, he is angerless. I mean, we have some good discussions, and he doesn't. He just looks at me with a placid face. Why don't you get angry? You know, he doesn't. He's angerless. He's that type of person. He's of noble character, and I know that he is a person that will do what I ask him to do, even when I'm not around. He's a genteel guy, polite. You all know that. Very rarely raises his voice. There has to be some balance somewhere. So he's genteel, Dee Dee's loud, but there is some balance in that way. And he's a stand-up guy. Stand-up guy. He will stand up and whatever, you know, he's will admit mistakes and then just say, I will try to do better, and he does better. That is appreciated. And most of all, he's a team player. He has his responsibilities, but I'm never at a loss as to what's happening in his operations, and he does let me know what's going on. So I can't ask much more, and I do appreciate it, Mr. Art Inks. I'd like to present this certificate to you for 10 years of exemplary service on the 23rd day of October 2000. Quite welcome. Dee Dee's been in this stuff for 38 years, 25 years here, but 38 years. 15 in Farmingdale. That won't make 38, would it? 13 in Farmingdale. Kim was out of a calculator, but I sure caught it before I was about to say 25 here.
Now we know how the budgets work.
That's right. You know, when you go to calculus and you go up to that next level where you have these imaginary numbers, that's how the budget works. Dee Dee Dow. Deidre Marie Dow. We just know as lovingly and kindly as Dee Dee. She brings attitude, she brings a presence, she brings professionalism. Dee Dee was my initial interview. Dee Dee was the person who sat me down and straightened me out a little bit about what budgeting was about and what SUNY was about. And every time I had a question, she told me no. I said, do you have this? No. Can you do this? No. How does this work? No. So she was the no person, so the yes person. And I kept asking her, I said, well, how does this work? And how does that work? It works. I said, but how? But as we got to know each other, as I became more familiar with the operations around here, thanks to her, as I say, she briefed me on the first day and she helped me through the initial period. There was something called a Form 1. You don't want to know what it is. It is how we build our budget from the bottom up through SUNY procedures. I am not kidding you. Form 1 started from here to where John was. That's the number of rows and columns that were in the spreadsheet that SUNY gave us. And I looked at her, I said, what the hell is this? And this is how they were building the budget. And every line had a number associated with it, and everything had something. So we were in all weekend trying to get the budget, trying to do it. We were struggling together, but we made it. And that was, again, forging a great working relationship, and it's something that you know, you never could pay a price for. So we suffered, but we grew. And she consoled me, and she does that still when my expectations are not met, and when I am faced with reality through SUNY, but she's always there to lean on. If I asked one group what they thought of Dee Dee, they said she had attitude, and I can go both ways. Acrimonious, tough, torturous, inflexible, intrusive, unyielding, difficult, and egotistical. But you know, you gotta have some of that. Nobody's perfect, even Dr. Butts.
You pay for that.
Nobody's perfect, even Dr. Butts. I went to school with him. I got stories to tell, but I won't tell. I like my job. But to me, Dee Dee is an attentive person. She's thorough. She's a team player. She's insightful. She's trustworthy. She's very much undeterred in what she has to do. She's dependable, and she's most of all effective. So I say I am truly blessed to have had Randy, to have Art, and to have Dee Dee Dow as part of my team to move forward, helping SUNY College at Old Westbury become the best it can be, as well as making significant contributions to the SUNY system. So, Dee Dee, I'm happy to present to you. That egotistical, acrimonious?
Yes, yeah.
That's what your friends say.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
If I had that many cleaners, we wouldn't need Dunkin' Donuts. I could cook you breakfast every week, and you could eat it off the floor. Dr. O'Sullivan, did you really realize that he got no from Dee Dee? I thought it was part of his own personality.
I'm going to ask Ron to come up. Oh, you're here already. Thanks, Ron. Academic Affairs has about 21, 22 people, so I'm going to ask people to come up in groups. But before that, I want to just mention two items. We're very thankful to be able to thank all of you for the work that you do, for students and for the faculty and for all of us. So even though I'll be brief in my comments, I really do thank you, and I'm grateful to have all of you. So the names are for the 5-year awards: Jody Cardinal from the Writing Center. You can all come down as I call your name. Philip Juliana, Patricia Groban, Mark Kettler, John Kleinman, Pamela Smith, Sharma Vijayendra, and Yumi Nicholson. I'm going to make a brief comment with respect to each of them, and I have notes, and these were prepared by their colleagues. I'm just looking for the order. As Ron is doing that, I'll speak briefly about Jody Cardinal. The college is most appreciative for the work she does. She came from Stony Brook to run the Writing Center. The Writing Center is a core activity, a core support area, and is truly necessary to help students do better in writing. Jody has done so much with a small budget. She provides workshops, instructions in the classroom, and we are delighted to have her and hope she continues with us. Thank you, Jody. You changed the order on me. Patricia Groban, who is currently a secretary in the Advising Center. She was previously in the Registrar's Office. She coordinates the schedule and appointments, the schedule for the advisors, the appointments for students. Patricia, thank you for your work. Also, John Kleiman, who is an advisor, and John has been with us 5 years. He is very proficient in advising students. He puts in long hours. We thank him for the work that he does. Thank you, John. Phil Giuliani, whose character and skills we already know, but I want to read a couple of things that were mentioned about Phil, which I'm looking for. And given my age and the country that I've come from, and my training as a full professor, I can always be searching for notes. That gave me a little bit of time. So, Phil, we thank you for the work that you do, particularly in the Registrar's Office as the transfer articulation manager. Phil is the resident expert on banner transfer articulation module and the policies regarding transfer courses. Phil also serves on the General Education Committee and has served on numerous search committees. Phil, thank you very much. Mark Kettler is a primary supporter in PowerTrack labs. We know that PowerTrack math is crucial in the training of our students in mathematical proficiency. And so Mark is engaged in that every day. He also provides computer science students with needed support by offering unlimited hours of tutoring and advice. And he also works on various committees throughout the campus. Mark, thank you. Pamela Smith, secretary in the Mathematics and Computer Science Department. According to what our friends say, she is the friendly face that welcomes all new faculty and students and is an ambassador for both our department and the college. She is the person that adjuncts and full-time faculty go to for payroll matters, textbooks, and supplies. She is always engaged and she is always helpful to academic affairs. Pamela, thank you. I'm now looking for my next name. Sharma. Okay, so Sharma, I know, is the secretary in history and philosophy. She has offered to help me many times as I roam around the new building. She's always friendly and thorough, and thank you, Sharma, for your help and for continued helping me. Yumi Nicholson is the peer advisor for transfer students from Nassau Community College. She has a reputation as being an excellent advisor, and she is always helpful. She served on committees with me, and thank you, Yumi. I want to thank all of you. Thanks to all of you. There are 4 people that I'm going to ask to come down. I'm not sure if, I think one is probably absent, but I'm going to call the names in the order in which I have them. Lee Conradi, Secretary of Biological Sciences. Geraldo Espinal, the Registrar's Office. Rafat Sada, EOP program, and Lois from American Studies. Lois, Geraldo, I'm going to make a few generous remarks about your contributions and very importantly to the registrar. Geraldo is one of the people that I seek out when I have issues with student issues with respect to the registrar, and he's extremely helpful. He has the following responsibilities. He is the master of several banner modules, including course scheduling, transfer articulation, and the CAP program, which is essential for advising. He is the liaison between the office of the registrar and the academic departments, and also student service offices. In addition to that, he has extraordinary dedication to serving students and to helping get things done. We thank you, Geraldo, for your service to the college. Lois is somebody that I know well and who's always helpful to me. And when I used to visit American Studies to see some of my friends there, sometimes under contentious circumstances, Lois was always a mediator and a helper. She has a reputation for being a superb secretary, a superb supporter of students, always helpful to the faculty, and we thank you, Lois, for all of your achievements. Thank you. Thank you, Geraldo, also. The next group, which includes 4 people, I've spent 15 years at Earl Westbury, and I'm going to call them in the order in which they appear. Anthony Barbera, Joanne Lacasio, Chris Olson, and Barbara Hillary. I know Barbara Hillary is off campus at a meeting. Oh, she's here? I thought you were off. So you're back. All right. Well, I'm sorry I was being dismissive. If I was being dismissive, I was. Both of the people, of course, standing next to me, I do not need any notes in order to speak about them. I'll talk about Barbara Hillary first. She is a full professor in chemistry, and her area of expertise is, Barbara, help me? Analytic chemistry. That by itself says a great deal. She has a splendid reputation as a teacher. She also has served in the last several years as interim dean of the School of Arts and Sciences. That's a very demanding task. She has most recently become the Dean of Arts and Sciences, and we congratulate her on that. As all of you know, I always need a lot of help to get through the day in academic affairs, and I actually don't care where I find it. I look for it anywhere. But I particularly have gone to Barbara on many occasions, and most recently on several occasions, and asked her to do special tasks for me. She has great energy, great insight, intelligence, and commitment. She's committed to the mission of the college. She is an advocate for her School of Arts and Sciences, and she is a mentor and supporter to the faculty. Barbara, we congratulate you. Because I'm so good with P1s and P2s, and making sure that all the arithmetic balances out, I have been fortunate enough to have somebody who oversees the mistakes and corrects most of them, and that's Anthony Barbero. Before coming to academic affairs, Anthony was a professor of accounting who taught auditing. That's a skill we desperately need in academic affairs. He has 3 tasks which he focuses on primarily, but there are many ancillary tasks. But he oversees all accreditations, all assessments, and the registration of all degrees. So all degrees that have been registered, particularly in the master's area, he has been the last one to see them after I sign them and sends them off to SUNY. Clearly, because we now have 13 master's degrees in education, 2 in accounting, 1 accounting and tax, and also 1 in mental health counseling, in addition to a BFA degree and some others that are in the pipeline. He has been truly busy. But before that, and during that, he was the primary writer along with, or author, along with Judy Walsh, in the first NCATE visit. They wrote the report that was submitted. NCATE. Did I say that right? He also was the author of the report which went to Middle States. And he also recently completed the report that went to ASCSB. So I thank him for all the work he's done, and clearly he has the support of the faculty and the staff. Anthony, thank you for all the work you did. He's just checking with me to see if I said the right thing, and I said yes. We're now going to move to 2 people who have been here 20 years. Annette Johnson from the English department, and Karen Morency from EOP. I see Annette. Her colleagues in the English department, Chris Hobson and others, say she is the face of the English department, that she is the organizer for the English department, that she is always meticulous and fastidious about what is done. I certainly have gone to Annette a number of times, and she has always been helpful to me. These are long years of service, long years of commitment to the college. We thank you, Annette. Years. 2 people from EOP, Anna Martinez and Alonzo McCollum. Again, I'm going to refer to some notes for Anna. Anna has an associate degree in applied secretarial sciences from Suffolk Community College, a Bachelor of Arts in Sociology, and a Master of Science in Mental Health Counseling from LIU, CW Post. She joined the college at Westbury in the Financial Aid Department in 1982. And she joined the EOP program in 1995 as a professional counselor. She has worked in EOP for 17 years. The EOP program has a reputation on campus and also in Albany for doing well by the students, and that's evidenced by the rate of graduation among EOP students, which is higher than the average for the college. That's testimony to the work both Anna and Alonzo, what they're doing for students. and a thank you. Alonzo, of course, I know better because Alonzo and I meet relatively frequently to go over the issues associated with the EOP. Here is what I can note. He manages the program well. He motivates his staff to get the job done and to be supportive of students. He's a strong advocate for the program. It was noted again among the people that I spoke with at SUNY, who run the EOP program up there, that he did a thorough and complete job. His reports on an annual basis sketches out the successes of students. I am very appreciative of what he does. The college should be proud of the achievements of the EOP program, and we thank you both. Thank you, Alonzo. Thank you both. One more person, Stephen Kirkpatrick from the library. Steve, are you here? All right, well, I want to say something publicly about Steve because I would say this whether he was here or not. Over the past 4 years, Steve very effectively and efficiently managed a shrinking budget for the library. He did it well. He has moved the library forward in terms of technology and the support for students. He has managed his staff very effectively. And he is always sensitive to the needs of the faculty. He has seen the library as an instructional arm of the college. It has moved that way under his leadership. And I certainly thank him for the way he's managed during my tenure in academic affairs. Thank you. Thanks to you all.
Vice President of Student Affairs, M.L. Langley, who herself not yet eligible for a 5-year award.
Hello there. I just want to say quickly that I'm just blessed to serve as the Vice President for Student Affairs at SUNY Westbury. It gives me wonderful contact with students that I treasure. And I'm also very grateful to have a wonderful Student Affairs staff reporting to me. I'm very grateful for every one of them. I'm going to acknowledge a few today, though. Right now, I'm going to go out of order a little bit and acknowledge Dr. Fite, because she has a line of students waiting for her at the health center. Dr. Fite has been an invaluable member of the student health staff since 2001. She has served as an instructor in the Department of Medicine at Mount School of Sinai Medicine, many things. My most frequent contact with Dr. Fite, though, is when she goes out of her way to ensure that a student who is in difficulty over insurance, over whatever their health issue is, they get a little bit complicated. And Dr. Fite will walk alongside that student until they've met the needs, till their needs are met and they've gotten the care that they deserve. She's very committed to her profession and to our students. Congratulations. Okay, I'm going to use Patrick's system. Will my 5-year service people please come forward? Craig Blodgett, Jeff Labiento, Eric Lewis, Suzanne McLaughlin, and Suzanne McLaughlin. Okay, Jeff Labiento. Jeff Labiento is our head cross-country coach and equipment manager in athletics. He also oversees intramural and recreation. Jeff is a valuable member of the athletic staff. He's been a steady force in years of transition. He does a wonderful job coaching. The cross-country team loves Jeff. He does a wonderful job coaching them. He makes sure all the teams are ready to go when they hit the road. He also in his past has served as an assistant men's basketball coach. Jeff Labiento is a true Panther. Craig Blodgett. Craig Blodgett is a valuable member of the residence life staff who's been here throughout my tenure. He serves as a residence director with us. He's our resident banner expert, and he served as the interim assistant director of residential life, coordinating our assignments and billing process for 6 months, for which we are extremely grateful. Craig's work is characterized by the ability to relate well with many students in his scope of responsibility. A valuable initiative that Craig has been involved with in Old Westbury, in conjunction with Eric Lewis, is the Men in Progress program, a leadership mentoring program focused on male self-identity while breaking pre-existing negative male stereotypical images. It's groundbreaking work. They're doing a wonderful job. Eric Lewis is also one of our residence directors. He's in Academic Village. He also has worked with Craig on the Men in Progress program, which I just think, again, the Men in Progress program is just a valuable program. And so his leadership to his residence hall program, to his RAs, and to the Men in Progress program is very valuable. Thank you very much. Ms. Suzanne McLaughlin. Suzanne's tenure as the director for the Center for Student Leadership and Involvement is characterized by innovation and strong commitment to both the growth and development of student leaders and active engagement of Old Westbury students in our robust community. Suzanne provides strong leadership to our first 6 weeks and our first 3 weeks programs that serve to welcome incoming students to the Old Westbury community. I consider Suzanne as having the energy and the impact of a bolt of lightning. Okay, I will now ask the following to come forward to acknowledge their 10 years of service. Zold Hajdu, also known as Z, Jane Swedler, and Bernard Tomlin. I've seen Bernard in a suit in 2 days in a row now. I'm not really sure what to do. It's pretty, yes, it's definitely exciting, Bernard. Okay, Bernard is our assistant athletic director and the head men's basketball coach. He's been a stable presence in athletics, much respected by fellow coaches who often seek his advice, and he's very much respected by the young men on the basketball team. He loves basketball, he loves coaching, and it shows. Bernard is entering his 12th season as a head men's basketball coach. His stats include that he's, let me get back here. His years as a basketball player, he was also a basketball player, I need to tell you a little bit about this, include being leading freshman scorer in the nation at University of Utah, Hofstra University record holder for the most field goals in one game, one of Hofstra's all-time leaders in free throw percentage, 88%, and an NCAA tourney appearance. He was the captain of Hofstra University's first East Coast Championship team and drafted by the Utah Jazz. We are blessed to have Bernard on our staff. Mr. Z, I have to tell a side note here. Mr. Z is 2 weeks into new fatherhood. I couldn't resist.
And he's awake.
And he's, well, more or less he's awake. He's a little bit sleep deprived, I hear. During his tenure at Old Westbury Athletics, he has established a high standard of care for the over 200 student athletes, and he provides good mentorship and supervision to his assistants. Z's athletic experience includes accomplishments in men's tennis and men's soccer. He served as a head tennis pro in the New York Junior Tennis League. He's a valuable member of the Panther team and a very skilled athletics photographer. Congratulations, Z. Kate DeRosso please come forward? Kate will often be seen when there's a campus emergency, conveyed by University Police to the place where she and her colleagues need to provide first responder care effectively and efficiently. You'll see Kate at the Panther basketball games in her role as the coach of the Old Westbury Cheerleading Squad, a wonderful organization under Kate's advising. Kate is a first aid CPR AED crossover instructor with the American Heart Association and Red Cross, and just a wonderful member of our Student Health Services staff. Will Helen Lau please come forward? Helen Lau first came to SUNY Westbury as a student, fulfilling her long-held ambition to earn a BS in psychology. Helen also holds a diploma as a registered nurse from Bellevue School of Nursing. Working at Old Westbury has given Helen the opportunity to give her the flexibility to continue her education, travel the world. She is happy to say that this is the most adventurous decade of her life, having traveled to the beaches of Rio, to the Berlin Wall, and to dozens of places in between. Times have changed in the 30 years since Helen first came to Old Westbury, but it has been her pleasure to work with our students for the fun and fascination of the college life. Congratulations, Helen. And finally, 35 years, Greta, is Greta here? Yeah. Miss Greta. Miss Greta. Greta Rainsford lives a life characterized by active service and involvement, from which students at Old Westbury benefit greatly. Dr. Rainsford has been associated with Meadowbrook Hospital, Nassau Community Medical Center, Nassau Hospital, Winthrop Hospital. Dr. Rainsford's community associations include the Medical Advisory Board of Planned Parenthood, Nassau County, and the Transfusion Committee of Mercy Hospital. She's received many awards that are more than I have time to list. It's an amazing list of awards. Is commonly a sought-after speaker and has published many articles in Newsday. We are fortunate to have an individual of Dr. Rainsford's vast and comprehensive professional experience, medical skills, and expertise.
Hi, but Gary, I don't want you to be nervous. Every eye in the place is on you. Probation period is running.
I know. In the preservation of time, I'll call everybody down. Different years. And whoever said Bill didn't have a heart to allow me to go last, although he didn't give me a lot of information on how this goes, so I will not have a lot to speak to everybody because with 10 months here, I don't have a lot on them yet, but I'm working on it. So to start off with 5 years, Dimitri Barr from the heat plant, Dimitri. Robert Cabrera from the grounds, I don't know if Robert is here. Michelle Glover Brown, environmental, health and safety. And for all of you who don't know, Michelle is leaving the campus on November 7th. Here's Michelle. Betty Lester, she's a bus driver, transportation. Rick Lopez, Ricardo Lopez, Rick here. Gordon Tunson, I know Gordon's. Come on, Gordon. And Gilbert Fatale, cleaner. It's Gordon. Gilbert. Yeah. Okay.
my gift for leaving.
That's it. There we go. Okay, this is for 5 years. All right, for 10 years, I have Leroy Durant. He's a cleaner who works nights. Napoleon Farfin, he's our locksmith. James McGinn, he's our plumber. He's out right now on the... Oh, okay. Leroy, you are here. Very good. Errol Roberts is the maintenance assistant. And Giuseppe, or Joey Scarafaro, heat planner. Okay, that's for 10 years. For 15 years, I have 2 recipients, Richard Simpson and Greg Rivera. Rich is in the heat plant, and Greg is institutional. He is all over the place. You're going to take for Rich? You're not Rich. You don't look like Rich.
Nah, I'm missing a little hair. Hopefully that's a share.
Thank you. For 20 years, I have 2 people also, Hopeton Townsend and Robert Kessel. Hopeton is a maintenance assistant, and Robert is in the middle. Robert here. Neither one of them. Okay. We're going fast. Trying to get you out of here. I know that. It's been a long day. For 25 years, I have 4 people. Scott Liebert, he's the heat plant. He's in charge of the heat plant. Charlie Marshall, who's in charge of all the cleaners. Tommy Noble, who is our electrician. Is Tommy in here? And Julie Sweeney, who is a bus driver. Julie here. She might be doing her rounds going around. And for 30 years, I knew he wasn't going to show up, but we have Manley Brown, who's maintenance assistant, works a lot with Napoleon, and Lou D'Agostino, he'll kill me for thinking. And I know he's running around someplace. I guess Lou wasn't coming in. Okay. And for 35 years, we have Gail McDaniel. Is Gail in here? Gail is in here. Just really quick, these are all the people that do all the things that keep this campus running that you don't really see, and that means it's really good. It's all done in the background, so it keeps everybody running, the lights are on. In fact, when I first walked in here, I was told it was a little warm in here and it needed to be cooled down, and right away, the heat plant guys jumped right on it. So if it's still a little hot, they're working on it. But I promise next year I will have a lot more to say about them, and Bill will allow me to go first. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Passable. Dr. Butts, you have 2 awards to give.
It's amazing to see how many people have been here for such a long time. And congratulations to everyone who's received an award today. The first award that I'd like to present now is for 10 years of service. And this young man joined the college in 1982 in what was then termed the Systems Division. He was lured to SUNY optometry in 1995, but he returned to Old Westbury in 2001 as our Chief Information Officer. When I first arrived at Old Westbury, we had many challenges with our IT department. And Tom Delchudes actually came to me and sat down and said, I know the perfect guy. And based on his recommendation, we reached out to Mark Sebo. Mark has been an excellent employee, and I've appreciated him being there. He's very smart, and he knows his division well. And I want to congratulate Mark for all the hard work and the time that he puts in at Old Westbury. And I want to advise him to be careful with his superior intelligence. Because if you talk to Mark long enough, he will take you to the far reaches of the universe. And I get spaced out when I'm talking to him sometimes. I say, Mark, how do I turn on the computer? And by the time he's finished, it's an hour later, and he still hadn't told me, push the darn button, you know, and he told me everything else. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mark Sebo.
I think it must be the budget office that did the numbers, because this summer I actually hit a personal milestone, 30 years in the system. Haven't caught up to Bill yet, though.
The next person I'd like to come forward is a young woman who's worked in my office for 10 years now, with excellence. Actually, that's why I had to look down, it's 12 years. For excellence, I mean, if you want to know where anything is, you ask Irene. And her patience is to be applauded also, because she works with Mona. And the two of them make beautiful the operation of the president's office. And I can't tell you, aside from her love for chocolate, how much I really, really, really appreciate Irene. Irene has saved me on many occasions. She's helped take care of my grandchildren. She's provided an essence of peace, but always, and Mona knows this, if Mona wants to get anything meticulous done and done well, she gives it to Irene. And so to all of you, please applaud Irene Cotton for her 12 years of service. The next award is to a person that I did go to school with. And it's funny how fate brings you around to people. Our alma mater song has a line in it that says, so to bind each son the other in ties more brotherly. Mr. Lynn Davis came to our campus, and we're recognizing him for 10 years of service. It seems like it's been a lot longer. But he came to our campus in 2001 as our Chief Financial Officer. He's recently been promoted to Vice President of the Division of Business and Finance. A lot of you have a tough time with Lynn. But I can tell you to my certain knowledge that we have dollars that we would not have if it had not been for Lynn's leadership and working with all of those that he gave accolades to. It's very important to know that just as you see in these presidential debates, the budgets are funny things. And we have been able to come out of financial dependency. We have been able to treat our faculty better. We have been able to supply more student scholarships. We have improved IT. And we are able, even with SUNY cuts, to move forward with the implementation of significant parts of our strategic plan. And the jousting that you see between Dr. O'Sullivan and Mr. Kimmons and so many others with Lynn comes as a result of his holding the line and spending money wisely. Many of us know how difficult it is to manage dollars, don't we? And we know by our own extravagances how sometimes money comes up short. But since Mr. Davis has been here, we have been able to see our way through some very difficult economic times. So it gives me pleasure to present this award for 10 years of service to Mr. Davis. And the final award that I have to present today is to a man who in September completed 37 years of service to this college. As a faculty member in the Department of Business, he was chair of the Department of Business. He became, when the Department of Business became the School of Business, the dean of the School of Business. And it was my pleasure to solidify him in the office of Vice President and Provost of Academic Affairs. There was much discussion always about shared governance and using the talents that we have at Old Westbury. Many of you are demonstrations of long years of service, and you've shared your talents in many ways. I can point to Phil Giuliano playing the guitar this morning. There are many other instances that I can name. But I've got to tell you that when faculty persons who are not sure about your leadership and don't know you very well pledge themselves to work on behalf not of the individual but of the institution and to give their best across the board, then you know you've got a very special person. Dr. Patrick O'Sullivan has served in a very tough role. Faculty deserve the attention that they crave. They give much to the institution. Aside from students, they are the real heart and soul of this place. And so anyone who can manage the faculty and who was willing at the time that he stepped in to be like really a biblical illustration, a Daniel going into a lion's den. But the lions were not roaring because they were just hungry for new meat. They were roaring because they were concerned about this institution. But they also faced one who was concerned about the institution and who had been here as long as many of them, almost since its founding. So I want to say to you, dearly beloved, that when we present this award, I want you to know how much I appreciate what Dr. O'Sullivan puts into this college. The long hours, like many of you, that he spends in working toward making this a strong institution. And he's got a lot of skin in this game. I have met students across the board. I was on my way to San Francisco the other day, and as I was coming through the line, and something made the thing go bing, bing, ring, ring, ding, dong. And a woman came up to me, dressed in a Transportation Security Authority, I guess, TSA uniform. She was a current student at Old Westbury, had to take a break, go to work, but she said she would be back. Managing director at one of the largest banks in the world, received his undergraduate training at Old Westbury, and then went on to compete in graduate school at Harvard with top students. Many of them attribute their success back to many of you in the faculty, and they remember you on the staff. These particular students remember Dr. O'Sullivan. So I want to say to you that you can't imagine how important this ceremony is, and I want to thank Lena Ferrugia. We have a new young woman who has joined in the president's office, Jasmine McFarland White. I know working along with her. And of course, Bill Kimmons for all that he does. And I want to say to you that I am truly honored because without you, I couldn't do what I do. Without Mona, you all know that I could not do what I do. She's very important to me. And there are a whole host of others. But without Patrick O'Sullivan, we would not be the tremendous, and I mean that because, see, I know the tremendous institution that we are today. Trust me, I know. People say a lot of things about Old Westbury, and I've been in the audiences and in the places where they say, but I know what happens. And I know that students come out of here and do great things. And they do those things because of the men and women who have been recognized today and who will continue to be recognized in these ceremonies. So Dr. O'Sullivan, Patrick, thank you. And God bless you for all that you did to our college. 37 years of service. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce a man who will close out the day's proceedings, a man who really needs no introduction, so I'm not going to give him.
But it's very fortunate Dr. Butts has a job as president because I know he couldn't make it as a bartender or official. Every year at the end of this ceremony, he invites you all to go out and have a piece of lobster, a flute of champagne. And I've been here 15 years and I've never seen either one of those things out there. Thanks for your participation. We'll try to get it done next year again. Be good.